Hi, it's Penny here, and today we're going to be putting together my TBR for the month of May. So all the books that I'm planning to read in May. As usual, I am going to use my TBR machine website that I made that spits out random reading prompts, but we have already picked the 3 prompts for May, and then we'll pick the 3 prompts for June, just because I've got very few books left on my physical TBR now, so sometimes I need a little bit of time to prepare, but also if you'd like to join in, it gives you a bit of time to prepare as well. And of course, I'll always leave a link to the TBR machine down below if you want to try it out. So the first prompt that the TBR machine gave us for May was a book with green on the cover. And I've decided to go with Succulents and Spells by Andy C. Buchanan. Andy Buchanan is one of my favorite New Zealand authors, and so I decided to buy their book. This is just super short. I think it's the first one in a little trilogy. Something about a witch family. They live in New Zealand. Strange things are happening. I don't really know what it's about, but I decided to get it when I heard about it. And it's got a very beautiful green cover, so it's perfect. Then the next prompt on the TBR machine was to read the longest book on your TBR, which honestly was a little bit painful because I've been trying to read this book, Child of Flame, the 4th book in the Crown of Stars series, for like the last 6 months. And after I finish this, which hopefully I'm going to finish this month, because the next longest book on my TBR is actually the 5th book in the series, The Gathering Storm. This is longer, I think. It's like 890 pages, 895, 903. This is long, but I do want to continue this series. I do want to finish it. So I've been saying once I finished working for a little bit, my brain power would come back. Has it? I don't know, but I'm going to try and read this. I think it will be easier now. I think I'll be able to do it. It's like an epic fantasy, people at war, all kinds of different mythological creatures, people learning about their magical abilities. We've got pathways through the stars and stone portals that let you go from place to place. There's a lot going on in this series, obviously, because the books are like 900 pages long and there's 7 of them. But I am excited to continue it, even though I'm also terrified. And then the next prompt we had was to read a book with food on the cover. There was only one option on my TBR shelf, and that is Quazzle by Ellen Dean Foster. So this one, to be honest, I bought this from a secondhand shop only because of the art. Is that a good reason to buy a book? Not really. It's like a science fiction where these weird little creatures come down to Earth and get up to mischief. It's got this cool little flick thing in the corner. I should film a different video for you to see this properly. That was the worst flicking I've ever done. Anyway, I'm excited to read this. It's got a loaf of bread on the cover, so that's why it fits for this prompt. So that'll be all the prompts for May. Let's now pick our prompts for June and see how difficult June is going to be. So our first prompt will be, read a book you think suits the current season. So for me at the moment, it's autumn. I know it's very confusing. The Magical Readathon is talking about spring equinox. It's all spring up in the northern hemisphere. Down here, it's autumn, so an autumny book. Maybe a good chance to read a thriller off the list of thrillers I've been putting together. Or maybe I could read this Ruth Rendell Collected Stories book. Is this a good one? Has anyone read this? Also, maybe my sister has my copy of Wicked. That might be an option. It's kind of witchy. It's kind of weird because Halloween's in October for us, which is in spring, but it still has that autumn feel because of everything that goes on in the northern hemisphere. So all that witchy stuff kind of feels like it suits the season of autumn, even though we don't really get much witchy stuff around because it's weird living in the southern hemisphere. That's the summary. That's going to be our first prompt. Now let's pick the second prompt, which is going to be, read your most recent book purchase. I think I'll have to go get it. Actually, no, you know what? My most recent purchase was this, which is a book, like a novella in the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant. Why have I forgotten the name of this series? The First Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever. I don't even know where this goes in the series, actually. An untold episode from the Iliath War, which was the second book. But actually, this is a series I want to reread, and it would make sense to reread this around that time, so I don't want to read that. I also recently bought the first trilogy of The Realm of the Elderlings, which is a series I just finished, but like, that doesn't make sense either. So maybe it'll have to be The Relentless Moon, which is, I think, the book I read before that. Maybe I need to go and have a look at my purchase history before I pick my book. Now where's my phone? Okay, then let's pick the third and final prompt for June, which will be read the book that has been on your TBR the longest. Oh no. I have a terrible feeling that it's going to be the next book in the Crown of Stars series, which if you don't know, is a series where all the books look like this. And I've been reading the 4th book for like 6 months. I have the 5th book, this one, on my May TBR. Did we talk about that? I just talked about this. So maybe if I finish this, I'll be reading the 6th book in June. Maybe. We'll see how it works out. Okay, but as well as my TBR machine prompts, I do also have some other books that I need to read, primarily library books. So I've got these 2 books from the library physically. The first one is Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shawnee Maguire, which is the 7th book in the Wayward Children series. Most of the Wayward Children series is about these children who have found worlds through magical doors, and now they really wish they could go back, even though they're in the real world again, and they go to this home for wayward children where they try to find their magical doors again, or they learn to accept being in the real world. But I think the 7th book actually follows a similar school, but this is one for children who didn't enjoy their time in the magical worlds they found. So I'm looking forward to reading that. As well, I've got this graphic novel, Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab. So this is set in the world of Vicious. I don't know much more about it than that. Vicious is a world where all these people have these different superpowers. Not all of them are always great. Not all the people who have these powers are great, but the powers can be really interesting. I love Victoria Schwab's creativity with this world. I have heard that maybe not much really happens in these comics, and you definitely don't need to read them for the bigger series, but still, I got it from the library, so I thought I'd give it a read. And then I've got a bunch of audiobooks. Most of these are trying to continue series because I'm still trying to get down to series 0. Every time I look at my list of how many books I've got to read for that list, it seems to be going in the wrong direction, but still, I'm going to keep trying to make progress. So firstly, I've got White Hot by Alona Andrews. Please don't look at the cover. This series is nothing like what the cover would make you think. Basically, it's this world where people have all these different psychic abilities, and we're following this girl named Nevada who runs kind of this private investigation company. And basically her family is just trying to survive, but she's getting involved with some of these really powerful people with these amazing abilities, as well as learning about her own abilities. And I really enjoyed the first book, so I've decided to continue the series and pick up this one. Then I'll also be picking up the next book in the Harry Dresden series, which is called Proven Guilty. I don't know which book it is in the series, 7, 8, something in the series. Harry Dresden, also a private investigator. He's also a wizard stuck in the middle of this war with the vampires and the Wizard Council. The last book introduced some necromancers. He has dealings with the fairies as well. There's a lot of really interesting things in the world. Unfortunately, Harry, kind of a dick, very chauvinistic. I don't like him, but I'm learning to be less annoyed with him. And I do find the stories to be quite interesting. And the last one was very well put together, so I'm hopeful for the rest of the series. Then we've also got Children of June by Frank Herbert. So this is the 3rd June book. I'm not exactly sure what this one is going to be about. I guess some children of the characters from the first couple of books, because the first couple of books I felt like wrapped up the initial arc of things. Maybe it didn't leave things in a great state, but I guess we've left that problem to the children now. So in this 3rd book, we'll see how the children manage to deal with all the disasters that their parents have wrought. Then I have 2 audiobooks that go together. That is The House of Earth and Blood, as well as The House of... all those titles! The House of Earth and Blood, as well as The House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. The audiobook for The House of Sky and Breath finally came through at the library. They didn't have it for a long time, but now they do. I put a hold on it, and I've got both the first book and the second book in the series coming through. This is an urban fantasy where we've got this party girl, Bryce, investigating this murder with the help of this angel. Obviously, it's Sarah J. Maas, so there's a bit of a romance. There's a lot of other things going on in the world. We've basically got every kind of mythological creature you could imagine in this world, and they're all kind of fighting over power as well as these magical artifacts. I was kind of surprised how much I liked the first book. I haven't heard great things about the second book, but I've also heard the ending something really surprising happens. So I want to know what it is. So I'm going to read the second book, and I'm going to hope that I won't get too annoyed by the Sarah J. Maasisms that I'm sure will be in it. And then lastly, I'm also going to continue the Wheel of Time series, and specifically I'm going to read New Spring, which is like the prequel. I think it's a little bit shorter than some of the other books, but I also looked at the release date, and it was around this part of the series that I'm up to that it was released, so this is where I'm going to read it. So let me see. I honestly have the biggest mess of books around me at the moment, but let me see if I can pull together some kind of stack of all the books that I'm reading. At least some of these are tiny. Okay, so this is pretty much the physical books I need to read. If it wasn't for this one, this would be easy. So hopefully that means I can pretty much read most of these in 1 week and then have a few weeks to get through this one. I still don't know if it's achievable, but we'll try. The 6 audiobooks should be fine. I've read about 20 gazillion audiobooks in April, so it'll still be easier than that. So I guess let me know if you've read any of these, whether you think I'm going to enjoy them, and check back in at the end of the month when I do my wrap up to see whether I enjoyed them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are doing well, and I will see you next time.